Yo, what is going on, homies? It's your boy Stumped back for the OPTC video. And in today's video, we're taking a look at Momonosuke, one of the newest legends to release alongside Gear 5. We're taking him into some arenas to showcase the power of this stand-alone legend. This guy is a regular legend, and honestly, from what I've seen so far, this guy is probably one of, if not the best, regular batch legend that we've had. He's up there with Alba in what he can do. And he is a new player's dream. He basically has the Kaido shenanigans, where he does end of turn damage, as well as giving 2 turns of cooldowns to Free Spirit and Slashes, which are 2 of the best abilities in the game. He pops his special on turn 1 and gives you a 4-turn attack boost at 2.5 for those classes. On top of that, when you hit with a Wano Orb, you actually extend the attack boost by 1 turn. If you run double Momo, you are going to get 2 Wano Orbs on the first turn, and you can just keep extending that attack boost, carry it in throughout the fight. And as long as there is no Haki or removal of beneficial effects, you are going to just have this ability ready by turn 3. You're going to keep it by turn 4, even up to turn 5, because with his super type, you can actually extend it as well. His special gives him a Wano Orb, like I said. You're going to get his special back very, very fast, because you get 4 turns of cooldown from Momo, 2 from your sockets, 1 from your ship, and then you just bring characters like Okiku or Colosseum Kinemon, and you can just get more cooldowns, having him ready to go by the final stage. Being a Free Spirit booster as well for Momo is just so beneficial, because Free Spirit is just miles above everyone else in the game. Like, it's clear how powerful Free Spirit is compared to the rest of the classes in the game. And on top of that, he has access to slashes too. So you can do some really fun stuff with stuff like the scabbards and bring a bunch of slashes. You have stuff like Carrot Wanda, as you can see on this team. But then you can also do crazy stuff with Free Spirits and bring like Ace Sabos and Gear 5 Luffy's and all of those crazy Free Spirit supports like Nami and Zoro and Sanji and all that nut stuff that we got for Anniversary and New Year's. You can bring that as well. So it's just absolutely wild. The first piece of content we're versing is Ashura Doji, because this is where I really want to show off Momo's end of turn damage effect. Now, the end of turn damage for 10 turns isn't as good as what Kaido can provide, being 99 plus turns, but 10 turns is still a lot of turns, and then you can easily wave clear stages. It's really good for stuff like forests. It's very good for speed farming. It's very good for getting around stuff like resilience, and that's the prevalence of this particular piece of content. Dogstorm has resilience on turn 4, and you can easily get around that thanks to Momo's end of turn damage. And having that attack buff and going up against arenas and content that doesn't actually remove beneficial effects, Momo's definitely going to shine. On top of that, he gives a 2.25 times EXP boost. So if you're trying to boost your pirate level, as well as do stuff like farm turtles and stuff, the wave clearing strats for auto teams is just going to be absolutely insane. On top of that, you can bolster your account very, very nicely. Even if you do come up against content that does remove beneficial effects, like Ashura Doji does on this final stage, you usually have Momo special back to just reapply your attack boost, to reapply your end of turn damage, and you can easily get it around that way. For this particular team, we're going to be using Momo, because there is a revive that Ashura Zoro has. We're going to be using Momo on the final stage to bring back that end of turn damage, give us that attack boost, and then I have Ace Sabo here to actually give us an orb boost for 3 turns. But we can only use 2 specials, so I brought Shanks Crew as well. Shanks Crew is great because he can give us a chain lock, and because Momo is a slasher and a Psy unit, Momo boosts slashes and he's a Psy unit, Shanks actually gets buffed underneath Momo in the Psy variation or in the slasher variation, so you can actually switch into Quick and then become Shanks Crew, who is a slasher. And on top of that, your captain is Psy, so you actually get a chain lock and you get color affinity. So very, very nice versatility that Momo has, bringing a whole bunch of dual units that can have these effects, and you can do some really, really cool stuff here too. So getting that chain lock from Shanks Crew, getting that color affinity is great. And Momo's super type can actually give us a full bottle of Wano Orbs as well. As you guys can see, we're at 6 turns of an attack boost. We carried an attack boost all the way to this stage 2, so it makes like stage 3 and stage 4 a lot easier to deal with as well, because Momo can actually just output a lot of damage. Another upside to Momo too is he's actually a very strong captain multiplier. As I mentioned, he does boost Free Spirit and Slashes, which, again, 2 of the best classes in the game. But he also is a 5.25 times attack boost to these 2 classes, which actually nuts. 5.25 is a ridiculously strong captain ability for an EXP captain. And having that wave clearing shenanigans is just so, so nice. On top of that, his special actually gives utility. He can remove attack down by 7 turns and damage reduction by 7 turns as well. So that's something else to note. as if you need to bring this guy for some utility-based stuff, you can actually do that as well. He can be your attack booster, he can be utility. Odin and Toki does 7 turns of despair and paralysis. So this guy with his mum and dad just work so nicely for that slasher-centric team. But all in all, Momo is just a fantastic leader, especially when you are running some of the earlier content in the game. If you're a newer player, running him as a friend captain, if you did pick him up, you are going to have a pretty good time at actually just running the rest of the game. So, as you can see, we basically take down Ashura Doji, no issues whatsoever. Was taking a little bit of time to actually get through this. I think I was talking in Discord or something like that. I can't remember exactly what I was doing. But, either way, we should be fine there. Let's move on to the next piece of content. Alright, so the second arena that we're actually going to go up against is Franosuke. Now, the reason I chose Franosuke is there is a very annoying final stage where you actually get binded on your sailors, and that is super, super annoying because not a lot of characters can actually get around that unless they remove bind as a captain. Now, there is a interrupt on, or not interrupt, on stage 4 there is bind as well, so bringing supports doesn't actually work for this particular stage. But Momo has another little tidbit in his captain ability where he just completely removes bind, and he's good. He also extends the attack boost whenever he removes the bind. It doesn't matter if it's 1 turn, it doesn't matter if it's 99 turns, and that ability to just get around bind completely is absolutely insane. Like, it's actually insane. So, it's very, very powerful having this ability, and unless you get despaired first, it actually doesn't matter. So, not a lot of content will despair you and then bind you in the same time. So, it's just very, very good to see that Momo can actually get around this. Any piece of content with bind, bring Momo, and you'll be absolutely good. You also have Gear 5 as well, who's also doing that as well. So, you will be in for a really, really good time. On this stage as well, there's no removal of beneficial effects, so Momo can actually just do his work with the attack boost, with end-turn damage, and all that fun stuff as well. Momo has just so much access to great subs. As you can see on this team, we're utilizing Kinemon and Okiku. Two of them are like, they're the two big ones that I've been using for cooldowns, because Momo does end-of-turn damage. You really want to make sure that you have your specials ready to go by the final stage. And that's a big thing that Momo is going to struggle with moving forward. Whilst, yes, he does give 2 turns of cooldown, he's captain. Whilst, yes, Free Spirit have a lot of access to cooldown reduces, you really want to make sure you are bringing them so you can actually get around stuff like Special Reverse, or just make sure that you're ready to go. You also have a lot of very good supports for Momo as well. He has a fantastic array of stuff like E-Zone Kiku, Kanjuro, Raizo, any Free Spirit or Slasher support that works in terms of like Zoro for chain boosting on the final stage, Odin for a Wano Orb on the final stage and some cooldown, and then you also have stuff like Mr. 3 and those broken ass supports that just work exceptionally well on this particular unit. Another very, very good support, another really, really good sub is Ashura Zoro. As you can see on this team, we're utilizing him because Momo has the ability to generate Wano Orbs. So getting Wano Orbs on your captain is super easy, and then you can just use Zoro to actually get all that chain shenaniganry that he can provide. Momo is also a super tandem unit, and his super tandem is very interesting because you can use it every single turn, but the thing with super tandem is you need to have a tandem orb, and Wano Orbs are so prevalent with Momo, this can be a pretty big problem. So most of the time you won't see the super tandem ability, but to get this super tandem and the super type, you need to have basically any of the scabbards. Odin and Toki do count as well, and Luffy and Momo, and Yamato are another unit that you can bring to just make sure that you get this ability. He's very, very powerful with his super tandem because you can use it every single turn, but like I said, unless you have a way to like get tandem orbs, which not a lot of those units do have, you're not really going to see it all that much. I really wish they gave him something like Final Tap. I feel like Final Tap probably would have been a little bit nicer. Rush doesn't make much sense, and seeing as Odin and Toki have a super tandem as well, then it just doesn't make too much sense for this character to have super tandem as well. Giving him something like Final Tap would have worked really, really nice, as you could easily just use the super tandem of Odin and Toki, and then you could actually use the Final Tap of something like Momo. So that would have been really nice in my opinion. But look, beggars can't be choosers, and choosers are never pleased. So we'll definitely take it. Oden and Toki are probably your one unit that's going to give you Tandem Orbs or Super Tandem Luffy, but at that point, like, if you bring Super Tandem Luffy, you're probably going to be using his Super Tandem anyway. Versus Yamato is another character that can give you, what's it called? If you're using versus Yamato, you can get Tandem Orbs. Sorry, I got flustered for a second there. You can give Tandem Orbs as well, so that is something else that you can get. But all in all, he does have that ability. One of the things that I feel like most of the time you'll be doing with Momo is actually hybriding him up when you are doing harder content. Sort of like Jack, sort of like Marco. If you're not sort of just speed farming through content to get EXP, hybriding him up with other very powerful free spirit boosters is going to work very, very nicely. Gear 5, obviously being the newest Super Sugo, has this very, very powerful ability that you can ignore barriers, you can ignore defensive effects, and you can just bink through a lot of crazy stuff. And on top of that, you can get around special reverse as well, which is one of the things that we need to be careful of with Momo, because we really don't want to have our cooldowns not ready to go. But all in all, I think Momo is just a fantastic character, great classes, a great typing, and can output a crazy amount of damage and help out some of the other free spirit teams with his attack boost and his end of turn damage, get around resilience and stuff like that as well. Let me know your thoughts of Momo in the comment section below. He's a regular base legend, so chasing him might not be the play, but the power that this regular legend has is actually kind of nuts, and you can do some really, really cool things with this particular character, not only as a captain, but as a sub, with getting that 4 turns of an attack boost as well. He also has a Sailor ability as well, that whenever a free spirit or slasher character uses a special, he gives himself cooldown, which is actually really, really strong, and that way you can actually get this special to pop off fairly early in the fight, because you can bring other characters again, like Kinemon or Okiku, that can give you cooldowns that are just going to give additional cooldowns to this unit. But like I said, let me know your thoughts and opinions of the unit in the comment section below. While you're down there, belt the like button, hit the subscribe button, do all that good stuff for me. Most importantly, enjoy the rest of your day. As always, homies, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one.